What is going on, guys? Mobile Carrier News here, and T-Mobile has announced or basically asked the FCC permission to keep using unused 600 megahertz of spectrum. Now, as we know, from late 2019 to early 2020, T-Mobile, acquired, the 600 megahertz spectrum, which is the lowest investment, which is not bad. I actually like what T-Mobile's going with this idea. What they're basically doing is they're using the low band of spectrum, so you can basically be able to use data inside your homes, and it's easier to use, and it's not blocked like higher spectrum, like three gigahertz or 4 or higher. So T-Mobile used the spectrum. They basically bought it. I believe they also borrowed some from the FCC, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they bought it, but they also rented some out, and now a year or a year and a half later, they're asking the FCC if they can keep using the unused 600 megahertz. Now, to me, that is a boggling question. Why is T-Mobile not really using some parts of the 600 megahertz? I mean, T-Mobile's smart. They're not really like a dumb company. They're a billion-dollar company like the rest of the other carriers, but they want to compete and basically surpass AT&T and Verizon by using spectrum that can be used indoors. That's where T-Mobile is basically gonna prosper from this. But the fact that I'm pretty sure the FCC maybe told T-Mobile, hey, look, we've noticed that there's some 600 megahertz of spectrum that we let you borrow or you want to buy, but you never really used. So we kind of want it back, or I don't know what the whole situation. That's just my guess, to be honest. But it's kind of weird, or a little concerning, how T-Mobile's not using some 600 megahertz of spectrum. I know T-Mobile's focusing on ultra capacity, mid band, low band, millimeter wave. But it's just very strange to me, at least just to me, that they're not using some parts of the 600 gigahertz of spectrum, and they're asking the FCC permission to keep using it when it's unused. So I'm very curious to see what T-Mobile will do. At this point, I don't think T-Mobile should keep asking the FCC, hey, look, this spectrum of 600 megahertz we're not really using it. Or, hey, FCC, we're not using this spectrum still. Can we still keep it? I mean, eventually the FCC is gonna say, look, you either buy this spectrum so you can use it whenever you want or not, because it's probably wasting our time, maybe money even, because they're not really paying the FCC the money for that spectrum, and eventually they'll get tired and sick of letting them borrow that spectrum. So what T-Mobile needs to do is, this should be the last time they're asking the FCC to borrow this band of spectrum, however much it is. I don't know exactly how much it is of band spectrum they're asking to borrow, but sooner or later they're gonna have to actually buy this band of spectrum. And if there's T-Mobile still not using it, well, then it's gonna be their spectrum. They can just leave it alone. But the fact that they're asking the FCC, I'm not sure if this is more than once asking the FCC to keep letting them use a band of spectrum or bandwidth that's not used. So sooner or later, T-Mobile does have, I believe they do have to just buy it from the FCC. It doesn't matter if it's like $1 billion. FCC is currently holding it. If not, eventually the FCC is just going to have to hold it, and either the FCC, I don't know what they'll do with it. Maybe they'll ask Verizon, hey, you want to buy this unused spectrum, since T-Mobile just kept holding it and not really using it. Maybe AT&T. Who knows? But I don't really know what T-Mobile's plan is. I do believe they need to actually be using the data that they have. They can't just be hoarding it and just not putting it to use. That's like basically saying, 6G is here, and we're just not going to improve the service of 6G. Well, if 6G is here, well, then why wouldn't you improve it? It would make no sense. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I really hope T-Mobile actually does something, and they actually use this bandwidth, or just don't keep it just don't keep it up. Just don't keep it like that, and just actually use it so T-Mobile customers can take full advantage. And if they're if they're like in a high-end building or a low-end building, they can use 600 megahertz of spectrum depending on where it is. It depends on the city, state, and location. But let me know what you guys think about this. Should T-Mobile start taking their 600 megahertz spectrum seriously? Should they stop asking permission? Let me know what you guys think about this. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.